The spilled salt. They say in the old villages of West Africa that spilling salt on the ground invites the spirits to your doorstep. Some call it a curse, others call it fate. But one man learned that lesson the hard way. This is the tale of Kofi and the salt that almost cost him his soul. They say in the old villages of West Africa that spilling salt on the ground invites the spirits to your doorstep. Some call it a curse, others call it fate. But one man learned that lesson the hard way. This is the tale of Kofi and the salt that almost cost him his soul. Please, sir, she begged, I have only a few coins, but I need salt for my family's meal. Kofi sneered, your coins are barely enough for a pinch. Please, she whispered, salt is life. Kofi grabbed a wooden scoop and, with a twisted smile, flicked a small pile of salt onto the ground at her feet. Kofi grabbed a wooden scoop and, with a twisted smile, flicked a small pile of salt onto the ground at her feet. There's your salt, he spat. Lick it from the dust if you're so desperate. The old woman's eyes darkened. You've cursed yourself, she warned. Spill salt without respect, and you'll pay in blood. Kofi laughed her off, locking his stall for the night. That night, Kofi was restless. His room felt colder than usual, and shadows danced on the walls. Then, a whisper. Salt is life. Kofi's eyes shot open. He stumbled out of bed, only to feel something sharp underfoot. He looked down. The floor was covered in salt. He swept it away, thinking nothing of it. But as he turned back to his bed, he saw her. The old woman, her face twisted and pale, her eyes hollow. Kofi screamed, stumbling out the door. He ran blindly into the night, only stopping when he reached the river's edge. Panting, he knelt to splash water on his face and saw his reflection. But it wasn't his face looking back. It was the old woman's. The next morning, Kofi awoke in his room, heart racing. Just a dream, he muttered. But when he reached for his coin pouch, it was empty. His entire fortune gone. His bags of salt had turned to worthless dust. Desperate, Kofi returned to the marketplace, but the old woman was nowhere to be found. Instead, he found whispers, rumors of a powerful spirit called Nyama, the guardian of balance. Spilling salt without respect was an insult to her. And now Kofi's life was cursed. For weeks, Kofi's luck spiraled downward. His crops failed, his friends abandoned him, and sickness plagued his home. Desperate, Kofi sought out a village elder for guidance. You must pay back what you took, the elder warned. Salt is life, and life demands balance. Kofi took what little he had left and bought as much salt as he could carry. Then he walked through the village, not selling, but giving. He left bags of salt at doorsteps, shared it with strangers, and made peace with those he had wronged. On the final night, Kofi returned to the river where his nightmare began. He knelt by the water's edge and scattered a handful of salt into the current. May this offering bring balance, he whispered. A cold breeze swept past him, and in its wake, Kofi felt lighter, freer. His curse was lifted. They say that from that day forward, Kofi became a kinder man, no longer ruled by greed. He learned that salt, like life, must be handled with care and respect. So remember, the next time you spill salt, don't just brush it away. Pause, offer a pinch to the earth, and remember the tale of Kofi, the man who paid dearly for his pride. Because sometimes spilled salt isn't just a mess, it's a warning.